What's this guy's name?
This is a video for Luke.
This is a video response to Luke.
Mm-hmm.
What up? We up in 2019.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Yo, so first thing I want to bring up is the fact that I was actually feeling you at the beginning of the video, but then when your example of personal truth that some giant space reptiles or whatever rule the Senate, it was a terrible example. I was feeling you up until that example. And then that example was just like missed the mark because...
What's a personal truth?
Like a personal truth would be something like, for example, say this man that was your mother's boyfriend ever since you were 2 years old, raised you and treated you as his son. That man wouldn't biologically be your father, but if he raised you, you'd probably consider him your father. So that would be a personal truth for you. That man's my father. So for me, that's a personal truth. Like,
what else is a personal truth?
Thinking that the Senate is a giant, run by giant space aliens. That's just a personal belief that has no grounding in reality. Is most likely just wrong.
So what other kinds of personal beliefs are there? Like, is all spirituality personal beliefs? Is all value, any kind of value that we associate with something, a purely personal, subjective belief? Or can you have values that are more objective than that?
Can you have values that are more objective?
Yeah.
Aren't just personal?
Right.
So things that are transpersonal, but not just by agreement, like there's really something that's just true about it besides that people agree on it?
Right.
Without using the scientific method.
So
that's part of the question too,
scientific method. Yeah. Well, I would say the scientific method just means you appeal to the patterns you find in nature, and you don't invent patterns to try to force nature to fit into, right? It's because we have to define experience if we want to say what empiricism is.
This is going crazy. Okay, so what are we talking about here?
What is the scientific method?
And is it the only way to find transpersonal truth? And have it be... Maybe.
So you have to
I haven't seen anything that's that convincing that it's not.
So what is the scientific method then? What does it mean?
What does it
mean to be scientific?
It's repeatable and testable and falsifiable or somehow.
So it's a method that you
can infer
follow.
some kind of verification.
Right. So it's a method that's easily describable. Everybody can perform this experiment.
Yep.
And then the experiment provides you with the data that you need to prove something.
Right.
So, but what does the data consist of? Only what you can see with your eyeballs? What about what you think and it feels? It seems right. Everybody agrees that thought is right.
Well, then I'd say that there's no way to, there's no way to check back whether or not that it just has to do with if everyone's just agreeing on it.
All right.
And I guess there could be different levels. Like there could be a biological truth that's a truth for. I guess truth is just so ambiguous. Really,
depends on your perspective, always, right?
Yeah, there could be a biological truth that's not like a physical truth. That's a biological truth. I don't even know if I know what that.
So if we can't define what truth is, then what's objectivity? Can we be objective about something?
I agree with Varela's idea about objectivity in parentheses. Like you have to, you're forced into taking that perspective when you're doing a scientific pursuit.
Right.
You should never forget that there's no stepping outside yourself. So you can't.
All theories are hypotheses, at the end of the day, right?
All theories are hypotheses.
No,
that's different. A hypothesis is
part of a theory.
A hypothesis is
Step one of a
is it? No, it has to do with an experiment.
Right.
A hypothesis is
all theories are based.
No.
on
A hypothesis is what you think is going to happen in an experiment based on your theory. Hypothesis and theory have a relationship with one another. A hypothesis. So you think that you think salt dissolves in water.
Right.
So that's your theory.
Mm-hmm.
Your hypothesis would be, when I stir this salt into water, it'll
disperse.
You won't see it.
Right.
It'll disappear into the water.
Okay. So the theory
And that would be your hypothesis.
and the hypothesis both come before the experiment is performed. The theory.
Yeah, you
informs the
hypothesize.
hypothesis.
Yeah, you hypothesize, and then you run an experiment,
And then the theory is
and then either that hypothesis is verified or nullified.
Right. But do you make the theory before you perform the experiment? That's what gives you the hypothesis.
Yeah, but it's always like a circular thing because then you get some information from that experiment and you either tweak the theory or you
Right.
throw it away because you realize it didn't make any sense, it didn't work at all. Like,
Okay.
you just, it's,
So science is based on theories, theoretical frameworks that were repeatedly tested and always evolving, right? Sweet.
this is really an ad, just so you guys all know out there.
Yeah.
So, peace.
Later.